Hello students, Dr. Himanshu Kanpal, Assistant Professor English, Government MS College for Women, Bikaner. Today we are going to discuss in detail the poem On His Blindness by John Milton, which is included in BA Part 1st syllabus of English Literature, MGS University, Bikaner. On His Blindness is numbered Sonnet 19, more commonly called When I Consider How My Light is Spent, is a poem by the English poet John Milton. Likely written in the mid 1650s after Milton lost his eyesight, the poem reflects on the physical and spiritual challenges the speaker faces as a blind person. The structure of the sonnet is in question and answer format. In the octave, Milton poses an enormously significant question of his life. That is in the beginning lines of the poem, when author says that when I consider how my light is spent, half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless. Here, Milton poses an enormously significant question of his life, which is consequently answered in the following sestet by the personified character of Patience. So, in the opening lines of the poem, when I consider how my light is spent, the spent light could refer to the poet's creative talents and energies, since now he is uncertain about the future implications of the blindness on his writing career. But more importantly, he is speaking of his eyesight, which he now considered as spent. How my light is spent, invoking the image of a candle or an oil lamp whose light has been used up. In the second line, he says that first of all, I'd like to clear the concept of light. Here, light stands as a metaphor for vision. In the second lines, or in the further line, we can say he further grieves and laments that the calamity took place before half his days, subjected him to a vast world of overwhelming darkness as reflected by this dark world and wide. In the following lines, and that one talent which is death to hide contains biblical allusions where he fears he is going to be like the worthless servant in the parable of talents, and that one talent which is death to hide. He fears he is going to be like the worthless servant in the parable of talents, unable to utilize the gift that God has bestowed on him. He ardently wants to serve the Almighty, but is at an utter loss of how to do so on being visually challenged. He says that the talent now lodged with me useless, and I'm not able to make use of that talent because now I am not able to see, though my soul moved to serve there with my Maker. This desperation and alleged unfairness of God is demanding benevolence from someone who is denied eyesight, ultimately leads to the completion of his question in the final line of the sestet. I fondly ask to serve therewith with my Maker and present my true account, lest he returning chide. Chide means scold. Doth God exact day labor, light denied, I fondly ask. Here ye, though my soul more to serve there with my Maker, he says that, author says that he wants to serve God and present my true account. His aim in life is to serve God through his talent, that is the talent of writing in praise of God. There he asks a question Least he returning chide, doth God exact day labor, light denied, I fondly ask. But patience to prevent that murmur soon reprise. Here he fondly asks the question, doth God exact day labor, light denied? It is here where Patience offers her answer. It is noteworthy that Milton, while structuring the octave sestet symmetry, because it is a sonnet, and sonnet is divided into two parts, octave and sestet. First 8 lines, that is octave, and the next 6 lines, that is sestet. Symmetry begins the sestet slightly early in the eighth line itself, creating a paradox as if personified patience can hardly wait. I fondly ask, but patience to prevent that murmur soon replies. Patience answers by saying that here, patience is personified. Personification means giving human qualities to some abstract ideas. So, here, patience is personified. Patience answers by saying that the poet has failed to understand the exact nature of the labor that God demands from mankind. Patience confidently assures that God is perfect and independent of men's services. God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. His state is kingly. He is Thousands of angels are serving him every day at all times. He is free from any needs because his state is kingly. The speaker is asked not to lose hope because the merciful Lord rewards only those men of contemplation who are eager to make use of their talents for the service of the Lord. His state is kingly. Thousands and thousands of angels are at his bidding speed, are serving him every day. He does not need either man's work or his own gift. If he gives something to someone, he doesn't want it back, because there are there are many of the angels who are serving him every day. The speaker is asked not to lose hope because the merciful Lord rewards only those men of contemplation who are eager to make use of their talents for the service of the Lord, but are ready to stand and wait for the fulfillment of God's purpose. Therefore, that which was initially described by the poet as the dark world and wide of the physically blind can be interpreted from Patience's reply as the strange and looming world of those who are spiritually blind and post over land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. Hence, for the spirituality enlightened, Christ's mild yoke in the gospel is a result of patiently bearing the burdens of one's personal adversity. You have to bear what is written in your destiny. God very well knows what He is doing. He does what He gives. He doesn't want it back, because it is not that that you are running here and there or performing your task, or this is how you want to serve God. They also serve who only stand and wait. Consequently, waiting becomes duty and service to the Lord when done with impatience and ambitious yearning. Finally, Milton, through this powerful sonnet, succeeds in portraying the personified patience in essence as an integral part of his own personality and a product of his understanding of life as a spiritual endeavor devoted to God and to the service of man. So, in the first half, he feels unable to complete the task. In the first octave, we can say he feels unable to complete the task that God has set for him, and he worries that he is squandering his capacity to serve God. But in the second half of the poem, the speaker reassures himself by arguing that God does not need human help and that there are many ways to serve him. This is all about Milton's on his blindness. Thank you.